Podcast. Me, Kofi, and Okwesi.
Quaz, aka Quaz.
Over here, Kofias, aka Kofias, over here talking about straight hoop. There's been so much that has happened. We're already in the finals. But before we even get into that, Doc Rivers.
Finally got let go.
Fired. So was he fired or let go? They tried to be real ambiguous with it. They were saying Doc Rivers has parted ways. So was he fired?
They said outed. I don't know. They didn't tell us a full story, but I mean, either way, it's time for him to go.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm actually kind of curious to see who's gonna. That's like a hot position now. Like,
well, do you think? Okay, because at first, the surface level thing to think of was, yeah, of course he needs to go. He's had like the most 3-1, giving up the most 3-win leads of pretty much any coach in history, if I'm not mistaken. But do you think it was fair for them to really, kind of fire him right away since this was a lockout season? I was watching ESPN. Some people were making the point that, I think they were one of the teams that said they didn't want to be there, right? When they had the little coalition or whatever, when it was like the strike or whatever was going on.
I mean, the Lakers said they didn't want to be there either.
They did. Yeah, I mean, that's true.
And they're what? They're in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, you're right about that. I mean, I think it needed to happen, but I'm just saying, like, do you think someone could argue that it wasn't fair? Maybe they could have waited another year.
Man, I hope they don't use that as an excuse.
People were using that as an excuse.
I mean, I feel like Doc Rivers' time as a head coach. At this point, I have no respect for PG. He's one of those. He talks the talk, but does he walk the walk? And I've read reports that, like, I think Montrezl Harrell came at him because PG came back in the locker room and was like, man, it's okay, let's come back next year.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, like, we gave away draft picks for you to come here to win a championship, like, now.
Yeah.
They have never been past the second round, and this was their best chance of going past. Like, who knows if Montrezl Harrell is going to come back? Who knows if Lou Williams is going to come back?
Warriors should go after
Doc Rivers is gone.
Yeah.
Like, now who are they going to hire? They're going to bring up Tyronn Lue? Like, who are they going to bring in?
They gotta bring a coach that they have to bring a coach that is a balance of X's and O's, but also a player's coach. So
I'm just trying to figure out who's out there right now.
It's got to be a player.
Jeff Van Gundy?
Shit.
His name's been mentioned a lot.
Yeah, it's got to be someone who's a former player. I don't think Ty Lue fits it to me though. But it's got to be someone who's a former player, but also has like the capabilities of running a system like that can actually,
Shit, give Jason Kidd a shot.
J. Kidd would be I think he would be a good pick.
Point guard, well respected.
Yeah. I feel like if you're a point guard, you automatically, other than like Magic Johnson went way back when he was a coach. Yes, he was a coach. Look it up. For like maybe like a good month or so, way back in the day. But
Magic Johnson was a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he was.
And then straight up leaves when it doesn't turn out how you wanted it to turn out.
We gotta make a segment about that at some point. Magic Johnson, honestly, I ain't gonna lie, one of the greatest players of all time. But I'm not gonna lie. There's some questionable decisions outside of basketball.
Man.
Yeah. But I think J. Kidd, I think would be a good pick for that. But I think it's they just have to PG, man. I feel like they just put way too much stock into him.
He's like he's an overvalued stock.
He's still riding that high from 2013, 2014. He's still a great. I'm not saying Pete will never hit PG's record. He's not. But damn, all those picks, you better be damn sure that he better be 90%. He better come with it. And he didn't. So
no, shit. Man, I don't know. I feel like they need one more. Try to see what they can get with Paul George. Honestly, I don't think what teams actually want.
That's the thing. I don't know.
I'm not trying to disrespect him. Like he's a good all around player. He's an elite player, a good regular season player to me, in my eyes. But when it comes past the regular season playoffs,
contenders aren't going to really want him like that because contenders aren't just trying to be in the regular season. They're trying to win.
Look at what's his name, Grant.
Yeah.
From the Nuggets,
that nigga was
role player, finally made his way, had the chance to just go off and went off. I don't know. Like, you can find players like that can fill that,
he got a brother in the league
that
too,
void.
right?
Bro, his family, like, is an NBA elitist.
Exactly, so. Yeah. So, yeah, but he showed up because he's always been all right, but, you know.
He's been decent.
That Nuggets team, though. Whew. Man. Since we just segued into that, damn. Like, 3-1 leads. Coming back. Bro, you know how rare that is? You know, for one.
That's very rare. Very rare, bro.
They did twice.
But you know how everything wins. Like, okay, they had this whole Cinderella story, but unfortunately, they didn't make it to the final stage. So, like, it sounds pretty. The story sounds nice, but hey, guess what? You didn't make it to the finals. Yeah. So, like, I mean, we're always going to remember, like, the bubble with the Nuggets run. But at the end of the day, the number one goal is to win a championship, and they didn't win a championship. They were like the Cinderella story, the Cinderella team, but
I think Jokic is
not in the finals.
I've been saying Jokic. I wanted Jokic on the Warriors way back in the day. And it's not gonna happen now because he's too expensive. You know, we're not gonna have the cap space for that. But I just think now it should be no question. It's not no damn Joel Embiid, Jokic, one beat nigga. It's Jokic by himself.
Yeah, no, Jokic is in a league of his own in terms of like young centers coming up.
I think
I'll definitely say after watching him in this playoffs and then watching him play against the Lakers. He's better than Joel Embiid.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Nuggets, like I said, the Nuggets are definitely.
They got pieces, man.
They got a couple championships in their future. You know, I was saying like the Warriors ain't done it whatnot, but hey,
I don't know about championships, but people need to stop. Really? People need to stop saying they're this Cinderella story team. They're a decent. They're a really good team.
You don't think the Nuggets have a championship?
I don't think they have a championship in the near future.
Really? Not one?
Bro, like winning a championship, there's so many factors that come into play. One, they're in the West.
I think they have,
which is hard. Two, there's a lot of players that are out this year,
bro, but think
that are coming back.
That's true.
So like,
that's true.
You can't forget about that, and you got to see what Chris Paul does.
But they future though.
And Giannis Antetokounmpo does.
I'm not talking about this next year, the year after. I'm talking about the next like 5. They're young, bro.
The next 5 years, you still got KD and Kyrie.
You still got 37, bro. Come on.
He had a whole year to rest. You still got the Warriors.
I don't know, man. I think the Nuggets. And listen, you already know I'm saying the Warriors got another 5-1-year run in them. Yeah, I'm a Warriors fan. Call me biased, whatever. But the Nuggets, man, like they got at least one championship in their future, man. I don't know. You got Jokic, you got MPJ, who damn near showed like, hey, yeah, I'm talking, but yeah, I can back it up.
Health plays a factor.
That's true. I mean, there's a lot of things that can come.
Players are coming back that weren't playing this year. They had a whole. You gotta forget. You had these 4 to 6 months off. That's a long time for like players to get better. So these these second years are damn near third players in the bubble. Like they've picked up an experience. Yeah. They've picked up experience. So
I mean, you're right, but I think personally, if I had to bet, like Kofi bet, like the Nuggets won't win, in 6 years, or will win one in 6 the next 6 years. I think that's a pretty safe bet.
I'll say they'll be contenders. Maybe they'll probably make it.
They're already contenders, though. That's the thing.
Like contenders in like NBA Finals contenders. I didn't think that they were gonna make it this far. So they've proved to me that they can be like an NBA championship team. But no, I don't think they'll ever win one.
Really?
Did we expect the Warriors to win one? It's just the pieces have to fit, and honestly, you got to be lucky. Your players got to be healthy. Like, you just never know what can happen. Just to say, right then, I feel like the Nuggets are gonna win one. I don't know. They may reach the finals. They may not.
Really? With that logic, you said about any team. But I think. They've already been the contenders. Like, they've already had number 1 seeds in their past. They've
never been a number 1 seed. In the West, they've never been the number 1 seed.
I thought they were last year.
They were not the number 1 seed in the West last year. The number 1 seed in the West last year was not the
Warriors weren't in it. The Lakers weren't in it.
I don't think they were a number 1 seed last year.
Oh, I'm tripping. You know what? I'm tripping because
I think they were like the 3 or
the Warriors were in it last year because remember we're still going off of the bubble kind of fucked everything up because
2018, 2019.
Yeah, the Warriors were the last finals.
Yeah.
Yeah. See that?
And I think the year before that, it was someone. Was it the Warriors?
It might have been the Warriors too.
But the year before that. So the Nuggets, I remember, has always been in the 3 to 8 range. So like,
one year they were like second though. They were like behind the Warriors. I remember they. Oh yeah. So this is what I remember. They were first, but they didn't keep it. I remember because I remember them talking shit to the Warriors. I remember every time the Warriors would meet them because the Warriors were like second. They thought since they were the first seed that they arrived and went on. The Warriors were like, hey, no, you haven't. They blew them out by like 40. But
you said contenders. I think they're contenders. Bro,
I think, bro, we
could say the same situation about the Oklahoma City Thunder when they had Russell, KD, James Harden, all them.
I think if you come back from 2-3-1 leads, bro,
it's hard getting back there.
I don't know, man. But anyways, I think you think they're not gonna win in the future. I think they're gonna.
And another thing with them coming back, okay, from 3-1 both times, that's a great accomplishment. But you gotta remember, like. It's the bubble. Imagine if they're actually traveling.
I won't argue that because I do think if you said the bubble's not a factor, I think you lied.
The bubble is a factor. What the bubble showed me is that the Nuggets have ballers.
That shows that, but that really does show the importance of home court advantage because there are hella games. There's a few games where I was like, damn, I don't know, man. If they're at LA or if they're at Toronto. Toronto was one too. When Toronto lost, I'm like, people were like, bro, there's no way Toronto was losing that shit in Game 7 at with Drake in the stands and shit, and all those. How Canadians act.
Drake, but no, fans do play a factor.
Yeah,
home court advantage plays a factor.
I'm not taking nothing away from them.
But
3-1's crazy, but
like I said, the Nuggets came back from 3-1 twice.
Yeah, I think
that's pretty exceptional.
I think they have great things ahead of them, me personally. But
the future is definitely bright, but to say championship in the near future, I don't know. You can't predict that. Championships.
Another thing
it's a matter about all. It's health, luck, chemistry. Look, they have Michael Porter Jr. who's out here is talking about I need more playing time, which I do agree he does need more playing time. But come on. Put your ego aside. I feel like he's gonna be that one of those type of players,
He already a little,
But shit, I mean, it's good to have a third player that's confident, third go-to player.
Confidence and then there's a pecking order, But
I mean, he shows a lot of confidence. I seen him do a couple underleg step back 3.
I seen him fuck up a lot though too. So
Still young.
You've been humble in his ass, but
still young.
What we couldn't have predicted was these motherfucking Miami Heat players. We've been hearing this whole pretty much especially the second half of the season. Damn, they're about to be sleeper. People were acknowledging them like they're nice. They were saying shit like they're gonna be a tough out. They're gonna be a tough first round out, second round out. But no one was saying they were going to be in the finals. The finals.
Yeah, that caught me off guard.
Yeah, I don't know about that because Jimmy Butler, we all knew Jimmy was about that shit, but
he's a superstar.
But do you think he's a superstar? You think he's a superstar, but you think
took his team to the finals. Well, no, he didn't take his team, but he had other pieces around him. But to me, he's a star.
I think he's a star.
He shows up in the fourth quarter. He even said, what I like to do is I like to sit and, just let the game come to me and just watch have my players get into it. And then when the fourth quarter comes, his players are good enough to keep him in the game until it. It's not. He can't do that with the Lakers, but I'm just saying.
They're like the Detroit Pistons, low key.
Everyone compared them. Everyone's comparing them to the Detroit Pistons
because they're not really. Yeah, you can say Detroit. You can say that with Jimmy Butler's a star, but really, in my opinion, there's hella good ass all stars on that team, / good role players on that team. but they're all when you see them play.
They know they roll. They know they roll.
Yeah, they're like better than the sum of their parts because they move the ball. They actually play defense on the perimeter. They switch like it's like quick, you know. Not they double well and everything. It's like a cogs in the machine, you know. Whereas with the Lakers, it's like you got the team. Honestly, the Lakers team, top to bottom, is not that good. But they have LeBron and Anthony Davis, which together is like.
It's great.
Freaking, amazing unit. So that basically makes up for it. And they have like kind of good role players, but they're kind of inconsistent a little. Like, so far, what's his name?
KCP.
KCP, he's been good, but like,
been balling.
Do you really want to rely on his ass?
You never know. I mean,
Rondo though.
Rondo. Playoff Rondo.
Y'all. Like Rondo.
Playoff Rondo. I'm so glad he's back healthy. He's been playing really well.
He got a shot.
He's been really good coming off the bench.
He got a shot.
Yeah.
Now.
He's been taking some threes, and I'm like, at first I was like, ooh, hesitant, but like he's shooting confidently from 3-point line.
Rondo, he be throwing them passes like he know he can get any pass to anybody on the floor.
It's that IQ, it's that basketball IQ, and he played with AD in New Orleans, so that's huge too because they already got that chemistry going.
It's good that they have him because when LeBron rests, they have another ball handler, true ball handler on the floor. I think I think personally the Heat. I think I have the Lakers winning in 6, but I think it's gonna be real tough. Like Bam Adebayo is being like a man amongst boys.
People say he's top 10.
Shit, top 10 in the game right now.
Yeah, off rip.
Top 10 in the game right now. I'm not sure about that, but he's definitely on his way. Like he's definitely. If you mean top 10 like the bubble, you mean I'll give you that.
No, someone said top 10. I think it was. I forgot what analyst said it, but top 10. But I will say, aside from, being a Laker fan, aside from like LeBron and AD, I will say Miami's top 5 is better than Lakers starting 5.
That's been the Lakers damn near with almost every team they played in the bubble.
Man,
Nuggets starting 5 was better than collectively, but it's just that LeBron and AD are so good that they just like it counterbalances that and shit.
I'll tell you this: if LeBron comes out first game guarding Jimmy Butler, is a wrap.
LeBron, listen to the thing.
If LeBron comes out and says, I'm guarding Jimmy Butler first play of the game, that's how you know the Lakers are not playing and are ready to win.
LeBron, bro, it's weird because we've seen this nigga do this shit for like 17 years, bro. And we still, ever since maybe 2017, that's when people were saying like, oh, does he still have it? Is he good? Is he old or whatever? And we always fall into the trap. We always think, damn, shit, he only had like 15 points this game. He looked a little old, falling for like, the trick. And then the next game he goes off for like 40, chase down, blocking people. It's like we were forgetting that he knows how to gauge his body. And I fell for it in the Nuggets series too, because I'm all like, damn, he looks kind of old. And then the last game he dropped like 38, like 15 and 11 or some crazy shit like that. So it's the finals, so it's like, hey, I have nothing else to, save my energy for right now. If I want to go off and block the shot Jimmy Butler 10 times, I'm going to do that.
This was their goal. Their goal was to make it to the finals. They finally made it to the finals. They finally brought the Los Angeles Lakers back to the finals.
Isn't it crazy
after so many ups and downs, bro? But
LeBron, bro, to me, man, I'm not saying he's my GOAT, but it's just crazy what he does to a team. Like,
makes them better. Makes everyone better.
You put him on any team, they're damn near finals bound. That's crazy. Or at least playoff, like semifinals or something. Like you got. I remember when the Lakers, when he got hurt last year, right?
Yeah,
they were damn near our 4th seed before he got hurt. With the This is in the West with the Warriors still active and like, He got him the 4th seed. Then he got hurt. Then they didn't even make the playoffs.
I mean,
you look at Cleveland when he left their lottery team. Miami when they left their damn near lottery team.
Yeah, Miami went through their turmoil.
That's crazy.
They're back. They're back.
Shit, I'm just putting that out there. I don't know, but
I mean, this is his 10th NBA final.
That's insane.
That's a crazy ass record.
Well, that's more finals than some teams like history.
Put together. 10.
That's crazy. So he this 17 years and he's been in the finals 10 times. So that means more than 50%. More than 50% of his career
he's been in the finals.
Like, and some motherfuckers can't even get to one.
Look how much wear and tear he puts in his body. Like, we're talking about regular season and postseason.
I don't know, man. I just hope that LeBron, like, God forbid, like, he just has he has to have hella wear and tear on him. Like,
I mean,
I just hope it doesn't, you know.
He puts in $1 million into, like, fitness, so.
That's like 17, really more than 17, because like you said, there's Olympics and then there's going to the finals pretty much every year, so that's like extra seasons put together. So I don't know, man. That's tough, but
you're a fitness trainer. You know what what it takes. Yeah. How it takes to like.
It's damn near impossible what he's doing. To be honest,
I'm just shocked he hasn't like had any like major injuries.
Well, he had I guess other than the groin, I mean like not no like ACL type.
Yeah, knock on wood. Hope not.
That's why. But I don't know. I think so. If the Heat, so let's do it. If the Heat win, what do you think that's gonna do for Jimmy Butler? And just his perception. What do you think that's gonna do for Eric Spoelstra? Because you know, LeBron-led coaches never really get credit because it's already like, oh damn, he has LeBron. They can't lose. But if he beats him.
I will say I was listening to like JJ Redick's podcast and he was talking about if the if the Heat win, this is just gonna show like the NBA you don't need that second star. Yeah.
You think so?
I mean, look at the Miami Heat. Jimmy's the star and everyone else knows their role.
But the thing is that
shooters.
This star word, bro. What if you just said Bam Adebayo is damn near going to be a star at some point?
I think so.
So aren't there already stars on the team that are potential stars? So technically, we can count them.
There's no star on the Miami Heat besides Jimmy Butler. But everyone's been going, okay, we need to pair a star with this star. The Heat didn't go out looking like, okay, we got Jimmy Butler, so we need another star. Well, they had Jimmy Butler that was a star, and then Bam so happened to be, oh, wow, he's developed faster than we have thought. And bam, he's good. Tyler Herro, people thought he was just a shooter. Now he's just showing you he can shoot, he can dribble, he can do all this stuff. They have Duncan, who came from the G League?
That shit was crazy, man. What?
And now he's over here a three-point shooter, bro.
Yeah.
Sniper.
I think that's the best way to do it because when they develop unexpectedly, they cost less money. Because they're not getting paid like stars are because they weren't viewed as being stars. So if you have all those players on the team, like Duncan Robinson's not getting paid like being a star. Tyler Herro's still a rookie.
That's what I'm saying. So the Miami are built, they have a star and everyone else knows their role. Everyone else is good at their role.
Right.
Like Duncan's not a star, but he's going to get paid because he can shoot.
I mean, I want to say that you don't need a second star. I feel like
Miami's showing you don't need one. They made it to the finals. How many times is that going to happen? Like what?
Like teams like the Lakers and teams like the Nuggets and like teams like that are going to win finals more often than that. Like that's why you saw Detroit Pistons. Yeah, they won the finals, but nigga, they only won one. Even though they made it to the finals twice, but it was mostly the Lakers and it was mostly the Spurs. Like it was those two teams. So I mean, yeah, that can work, but it's not going to work more than that formula.
I think it's gonna work because we've already seen Paul George and Kawhi. It didn't work the first year.
Compare that.
Who else? Russell and James Harden didn't work.
But okay, so all those teams.
There's other teams out there that's gone into this like we need two superstars on one team.
Yeah.
And then we'll just work off of those two superstars. when people are forgetting the Warriors didn't just have two superstars. They all, but two of them just happened to be like
they developed.
Developed great players, and they had Draymond Green that knew his role.
Yeah, and that's what happens honestly when they try to fabricate like teams, or they try to not fabricate them, but like just unnaturally construct them, because you can't just put two teams together or two great players together and expect that shit to work without any kind of chemistry or any kind of like just them vibing together on other levels.
And that's why the Clippers didn't work. If you're having Paul George and Kawhi play, they've only played 25 games together.
I mean, I knew that shit wasn't gonna work, but damn, the way that shit ended was I don't think anyone would have expected, any betting man would have expected that. But I think so. Who do you have winning the finals? Or actually, what do you think the Lakers winning would do to LeBron's legacy or AD's legacy? What do you think that's gonna add to it?
For AD, it's just he's gonna go from elite to just like, AD's on his way to Hall of Fame, but I feel like if he wins this ring, this probably just puts him in the Hall of Fame consideration. And
he might win Finals MVP, not LeBron.
No, he will win Finals MVP. Like, what? There's no
crazy.
question. I don't think LeBron should win Finals MVP. LeBron should have won NBA MVP, but AD's winning NBA Finals MVP.
I feel like LeBron's still going to try to win the Finals MVP, though.
I mean, more power to the Lakers. If LeBron comes in there trying to win the MVP, then it's a wrap. The game is over. The Heat don't even have a chance. But for LeBron, I don't know. LeBron will never be greater than Michael Jordan.
Yeah, just because of his I'd say just because of the blemishes on his record, because you can't beat a damn near perfect. I know people gonna say, oh well, he didn't. When he lost hella times before he got to the playoffs. Yeah, but when he got to the finals, he never lost. So 6-0 is like every time he went to the finals, you won, and you didn't even go to game 6. Like, bro, that's damn near perfect. Like, you can't beat, and that's not like a knock on LeBron. It's just that nigga was so perfect that like who really
you have to give it to him. But
yeah,
but for me, it's always gonna go Michael Jordan,
right,
Kobe, LeBron. But I feel like LeBron is the
Kobe
best.
Over LeBron?
Oh yeah, to me, Kobe over LeBron. Like, Kobe still has more NBA championships than LeBron.
Dang, so you going by the championship?
I'm going by the championship, but like overall, I think LeBron was the best physical specimen to play the game of basketball.
Yeah,
he was built to play basketball, and he succeeded along the way. High school. Yeah. He didn't go to college, so went straight to the NBA. Proved his doubters wrong. Won MVPs, won Finals MVPs, won All-Star MVPs. Like, at this point, his story's done. There's not much more he can do.
Yeah,
he's gonna bring a third championship to the Lakers. Like, what more can LeBron do?
Right, or fourth one. Yeah, on the Lakers.
Yeah, fourth.
Yeah,
but three. He's won for 3 different teams.
Yeah. And that, I think, I don't know, man. I feel like that puts him, to me, I personally have him over Kobe, I think. Because I think that I'm a firm believer that all championships aren't equal. I think every championship there's a level where when you win, there's some kind of pedigree that comes with winning any championship, but there's certain championships where, depending on the situation, maybe who was hurt, who you were going against, like LeBron going up against, say, the 2016 Warriors, 73-9 Warriors, that is one ring, but that has to be more valuable than, I don't know,
Kobe went up against KD.
Kobe going up against
Paul
the fucking Nets or some shit.
But Kobe went up against 3 Hall of Famers. Like, what, KD,
that wasn't better than the
Paul
Warriors
Pierce.
Team,
okay, like, people need to stop comparing, like, everyone else to the Warriors.
Man.
Like, what?
There was that nice, though.
Like, just because LeBron couldn't beat the Warriors, LeBron just played against the bet. Like,
but
okay.
He beat the Warriors, though. As sad as that makes me feel, he did beat them.
But you guys are over here comparing it like the Warriors are this hierarchy and like, bro, like who cares, bro? LeBron beat the Warriors. Kobe beat the Celtics. But the fact is they went to the finals and won. I don't give a fuck who they played.
But I mean, but that makes a factor though.
I don't care.
That makes a fact. That I think that I just think
to go there and win, that's all that matters. And for you guys to say, oh, because LeBron beat the Warriors, so he's fucking third. Like, what the fuck? That makes no sense to me.
That sounds like a trigger Kobe fan.
No,
but I don't know. What? I think LeBron. I think
you guys are just gonna ignore championships and say because they beat these certain teams, it means so much more.
But I feel like okay. I just think that.
You realize Kobe stayed with the Lakers, never left.
Yeah.
Went through rebuilds with the Lakers. One with Shaq, one with Paul Gasol.
Yeah. Are you right?
LeBron went to the Heat and already had Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh on the way. Goes back to the Cavaliers, has Kyrie Irving, that's fucking a perennial all-star.
Right.
Then goes to the Lakers and somehow finds a way to get AD to the Lakers. Come on now. LeBron along the way has been like he plans. He sits there and looks strategically. Okay, if I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna do this. Let's see LeBron stay on a rebuilding team.
I mean, well, he's been on teams that like we've seen what he's done on teams that were technically rebuilding though.
For that split second because he's gone there because he knows
when he first got to the NBA.
Okay, that's different. That's different.
How?
LeBron's coming. He came into a lottery team,
but I mean,
and was able to build it up and build him up to where you can come.
LeBron's fault that he has, or it is his fault, but it's not his fault that other people didn't realize they worth. And
no, you guys are talking about the champion. Like I'm talking about if we're talking about like championships, man, and the meaning of it, like. Y'all are saying, oh, because he beat the Warriors, he's third. I'm saying, bro, Kobe was drafted by the Lakers, went through his ups and downs, finally gets one, says, fuck you, Shaq. Like, I can win one on my own. Bye. Struggles again. Gets Paul Gasol. Was everyone raving, oh, my God, Paul Gasol. Is it Kobe and Paul Gasol? But was Paul Gasol, like, this superstar or this, like, star player?
No, but I mean,
people didn't expect Kobe to win one with Paul Gasol.
But the thing is, Kobe though, like as much as I love Kobe, we can't act like that nigga didn't make mistakes throughout his career. Like he's even said he wish he did certain things different. You know, it's not LeBron's fault that LeBron was actually like, you know, I guess more. I don't want to say smarter, but I mean was just more aware of certain things, and that just comes with the generations. You just learn more and everything. It's not his fault that he was able to see certain things. Like I'm not about to fucking face that problem if I don't have to deal with it. Like
so, it's not Kobe's fault that he went to the NBA finals and didn't see no Warriors with Curry, Clay, and Draymond Green.
But let's not act like Kobe wasn't trying to leave the Lakers at points because let's be honest, the NBA is a business, and the fact that GMs as a player, that's why people look at Dame, even though they're not really like doing him dirty, it's just not working out. There's just certain franchises that don't treat their players with respect. You know, no matter how many wins they give him, they don't give him a. I don't think every franchise wants to necessarily win. You know, because if you see the actions that they take and where they're not really getting their star player help, after like 6-7 years, if you're a player that's actually competitive, you're gonna be like, man, okay, I don't really give a fuck about the max. I'm trying to win.
What I'm just trying to say is,
so I mean, it's not LeBron's fault that he.
In comparison, you guys are trying to say LeBron, not just you, is better than Kobe because he.
Well, I mean, I have other reasons why
he beat these certain teams to win the championships. When I read reports, oh, who's been a better teammate to play with LeBron? Is it AD? Is it Dwayne Wade? Okay, or is it Kyrie Irving? I'm like, bro, what? Like,
I was like, bro, it's obviously Dwayne Wade. I don't know what the hell.
But the fact that you were like, LeBron's had someone by his side who's been like a star player.
Right. So I mean, well, I think that if going back to the question, I think if LeBron does win with the Lakers, I think it's going to really tremendously help his legacy. I think he's going to, even though he could quit today, say I'm done playing basketball, he's already damn near a Mount Rushmore type player. I think. Just all the records he's broken, along with also winning. He wasn't just like a Wilt Chamberlain that just broke hella records and didn't win. He actually did win. I think that it's gonna, especially with Kobe passing and all the shit that's happened with Laker Nation. I think it's really gonna be good for y'all. And I think it's gonna be good for his legacy. Just to win one, be a star. I don't think any star, like superstar player that has come to the Lakers has not won for the Lakers. So, especially with Kobe, passing this year and basically him passing the torch to him, pretty much seeing that when LeBron passed him in points and whatnot, it just would be a good sight to see. I think even me as a Warriors fan, that like I'm a Laker fan this year because of that. For this year only. When we come back, it's back to
same shit, bro. Like same shit. The Lakers will be back next year too. Like what?
Man, I don't know, man.
Who can guard AD?
But the way LeBron, I'm not gonna keep all those players. LeBron be like what you say.
As long as we have AD, that's all that matters. Kyle Kuzma's developing into his own.
You think the Lakers team now can fuck with the Warriors team from 2016?
No.
Okay.
But still.
That's all I needed to know. Okay.
Like I said before, no one expected Curry and Klay Thompson to be what they are today.
Yeah,
I remember when the Warriors drafted Curry, people were like, "Who's Curry?" And then when you guys got Klay Thompson, you're like, "Bro, let's trade him." Like you guys just got lucky, got two players that ended up being greater than what you guys expected. I don't think anyone would have thought Curry would be Curry and Klay would be Klay.
I think with Steph, the signs were there earlier. It's just that his ankle.
For him to revolutionize the game?
No, not revolutionize the game, but you knew that nigga was going to be like at least. The question, people knew how nice Steph was. They didn't know he was going to be that nice, but they knew he was nice. It was just a question of his health.
Kofi, really bro, I was sitting. Oh yeah, his health.
That was just
his
a question.
Health.
Klay, on the other hand, that nigga was ass when he came into the league. The first couple years, I was saying get him out of here. Until like that third year, that's when I was like, okay.
That's what I was saying. You Warriors, you guys get like, like Warriors are so great. The Warriors are so great. It's like, bro, none of y'all niggas knew that these players were gonna turn out to be.
We didn't.
This great.
Shit, they did, and they helping us now. But I think Spoelstra is really gonna deserve a lot of credit if they do pull off that win, the Heat.
Spoelstra's always been a good coach.
Yeah, no, but people don't give him that kind of credit because he was a coach with LeBron and Dwayne Wade.
See, so that's disrespectful.
It is.
I mean, he still won a championship.
Yeah, I know. But now he's going to really show because he's gotten. I mean, they should already give him credit because he's gotten to the finals pretty much with no superstar. And you can tell that's X's and O's right there. Like,
Jimmy Butler is a superstar. Let's get this straight.
So is he a superstar or not? Like people,
I say he's a superstar.
I say he's an all-star.
He's an all-star? Mm-hmm. All-stars don't take their team to the championships.
But it's not just him.
He's a superstar on the Heat that's on a team with other good above-average players.
So Bam Adebayo is above, like good or above average. He's not elite.
He's on the verge of becoming elite. Okay. No one was speaking about Bam like that.
I feel like I don't think I'll give Jimmy Butler and I'll say he's because I know Jimmy Butler from like the Chicago Bulls. Like that nigga was. I remember games where I think D Rose was hurt and that nigga was dropping. I think it was a game he dropped 50 in a half.
So he was doing it back then. So
he was.
So he's a superstar.
The thing is that he had a weird ass career before he got to the.
His weird ass career shouldn't define if he's a superstar.
But he wasn't really doing that. I mean, probably because he felt like the personnel didn't really.
What was Giannis' career when he came in the league? Giannis damn near had like fucking 4 years to develop before he actually got better, and he's not even that great yet.
Right? Yeah. Honestly, y'all say Giannis is a superstar. I don't know, man. I think that.
But he can't take his team to the finals.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying I don't even know if I can call him a superstar because he's not really. I mean, he's obviously, like he looks good because he's on Milwaukee. Let me not say that because he's good. He's a good player. Let me not say that. But it's just that it goes back to what we were saying last episode. I feel like we throw the superstar word around way too. There's a lot of good all-star players. I think there's only like 10 superstars in the league.
And Jimmy Butler is one of them.
Okay, that's. I mean, we can agree.
This man and the role players around him
I think
are
he's
going
an
to the
all-star
NBA
with
Finals.
really
That's disrespectful.
other stars on the
That's
team.
disrespectful. Bro. I don't think he's not an all-star.
Hero's not a role player. Bam's not a role player.
They're role players right now.
They're role players.
Bro, did you even know who
players.
Tyler Hero was before the season started?
Yes, I knew who Tyler Hero was before the season started.
Did you think he was gonna be this good?
I mean, I knew he was nice. I mean,
No, you did not, bro. I've had people say, "Who's Tyler Hero?" Now I hear people saying, "Oh my God, Tyler Hero has a chance of being better than Devin Booker." Like what?
Ooh, okay, I'm not saying that. Hell no. What? That's a what? No.
Tyler Harris above average role player. Being a role player is not bad. He knows his role. He comes and shoots threes and does other shit. Duncan knows his role. He's a 3-point shooter. Dragic knows his role.
Dragic is not a role player. What?
Role player.
No.
He's a role player.
He's not a role player, bro. He's not a role player, bro. Like
you make it seem like role player is like a bad. It's a bad thing to have.
But they're better than role players. That's what I was saying. Like, what I'm trying to say is the Heat are nice. Obviously, they're nice. They're in the finals. I'm just saying Jimmy Butler. That what makes that team so good is Jimmy Butler's not even the main guy. He's a prevalent guy. He's probably the tough. Like he's what instills the toughness on them. But there's games where they're all like damn near. They have like. When the game
comes down to the wire,
bro. But that's not.
Where does the ball always go to? The superstar.
Sometimes it goes
Jimmy
to
Butler. Everyone on that team knows that if the game comes down to the line, it's going to Jimmy Butler.
I mean that okay, but that doesn't.
Superstars take that responsibility.
That's not true. There's players. The best player on the team made. Doesn't mean they're all a superstar. Kidding me. I don't think that he's a superstar. I think he's an all-star, perennial all-star, a superstar. I'm not sure about
this. Is the same man that said, "Oh, I don't know about because of his career and how he started. I can't put him as a superstar."
It's not even that. It's just
this man's been putting up numbers.
Bro, I look at like the KDs. I look at the LeBron
because of their name. That's why you look at them because of their name. But it's what they do
though too. It's not Jimmy Butler. Like, listen, bro. Jimmy Butler is like. It's like I don't really know how to describe it. Like he's not like I'm not saying I'm saying he's an all-star. Like that's not really. I don't really even know why that feels like he's being slighted. But
that is slighted.
It's not because bro, like it's almost like you're describing
everyone can make the all-star.
No, but the rest of the team are so like they have like there's what makes this team so good is that they'll have like on a given night they'll have 8 or 9 players in double figures.
Because those 8 or 9 players know they role and do what they're good at their role to get those numbers.
Then why is every other team?
Because not every other team knows their role. Bro, they're not good at their specific skill.
Oh, bro, but I feel like with a role player, role players only know how to do they're like specialists down here.
Miami has specialists.
Bro, they have players.
Miami has specialists.
Tyler Hero's a specialist.
At this moment, he's a specialist.
No, he's not.
You can't. What are you gonna say,
bro? Tyler Hero is a guard, bro. Freaking
a guard is a position. A guard is a position,
bro. But he's not okay. But so all right. So is Steph Curry a specialist then?
Steph Curry's a superstar. What? I'm so confused.
I'm gonna say that that's funny.
I'm so confused. There's a difference between superstar and just role player.
Obviously.
Not everyone's gonna be a star on a team.
Bro, they've even said they'll have interviews where the reason they love the Heat team so much is that on any given night anyone can go off.
Exactly my
That's
point.
not just a role.
So on any given You tell me a role player. What's Lou Williams? A role player. He's a six-man role. He's a role player.
Role player,
bro. No. Like 6 man, bro. Are you sure you don't know your categories on stuff?
A 6 man is like damn near a starter for, but they're just leading.
A 6 man is still a role player.
Nah,
what?
Nah, bro. Role players is like off the bench. Like below the 6 man, like you're the 8th, 9th.
No, that's not a role player.
Yes, bro.
That's
bro,
not
all I'm
a
saying
role
is that
player.
Jimmy Butler to me, I don't know if I'll say he's a superstar. I'll say he's an all-star. I don't think he's freaking when he goes on a team. He's not cashing out buildings and shit. Teams aren't playing
because he doesn't have that name. Like he doesn't have that
the
image.
name comes with the skill set.
You just said the reason why he's not a superstar is because of his past.
No, but
it's previous. So like clearly it's because of his image.
No,
his image is what's fucking with people.
I don't give a fuck about his image. I see what he's doing on the court. I'm just saying. A superstar to me, bro, if you're a superstar, there's 5 facets in the game, right? There's rebounding, there's passing, there's assisting, there's scoring, on like all 3 levels and shit. A superstar should be able to do like damn near most of those. You know? I think Jimmy Butler on any given night can do, you know, maybe a few of those things, but he's not doing all those at the same time. He's not like a triple threat, quadruple threat type player. You know? That's to me what I see as a superstar. But they have other players that fill out. There are other players that fill out those roles on the Heat. So that's why they're such a good team because it's like they're cogs in a machine. They have Jimmy Butler's not a shooter, but they got Duncan Robinson. He's not a great passer.
That's a role player.
But I'm not. But I'm saying that. Okay, honestly, all right. We'll say that they have role players on the team, but I still think that me saying Jimmy Butler's not a superstar is still a valid argument. The team, Jimmy Butler, is like an enforcer / motivator / toughness. He's low key like the Draymond for the team, but he's better offensively and you know he's better than him. But that's really what he is for that team. It's just that you know he's the veteran low key kind of as well, so he also gets that cachet. But the thing is that Jimmy Butler. Yeah, he's not the best ball handler on the team, so they have Tyler Hero for that. He's not the best guard type player on the team, so they have him. And plus Dragic. He's not the best shooter, but they have Duncan Robinson.
So, you know? Okay.
My point is that he's not a superstar, but he has other role players / stars to fill out those roles, and they all know that role. So that's what makes the team work. Yeah, okay, if you say that, I see what you're saying with them being role players, even though I think there's some people on the team that are a little higher than role player. But
you make it seem like role player is a bad thing. I wasn't saying role player is a bad thing.
Yeah, but role player, but there's like a pecking order, and I think there's like Dragic to me is not a role player. Like if you're an all-star player, you're not a role player. Like he's been an all-star. Freaking
okay, but you can go from being an all-star just to being a role. He's not like is he going to all-star?
Nice as a hit, bro. He's not a role player.
I think what you're mistaking. You're making it seem like you're taking the term role player as bad, and it's not bad.
If you drop in 25, hell yeah,
it's not bad.
I just think. I mean, we can agree to disagree on that, but I still stick with my with my take on Jimmy Butler not being a superstar, but being an all-star player, which is like 2 tiers below superstar, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, because I feel like it goes to superstar level players that are like, you know, the MVP, you know, in talks of MVP every year type players. Then there's the perennial all-star where it's like pretty much every year you're guaranteed to be an all-star because you're that good. Then there's like once in a while you're an all-star. Then it's, you know, you're like a pretty good player. Then it's role players. Then it's like you on a 10-day contract. You dangerous, came out the G League. Get your ass out of here. You know, I think Jimmy Butler is in that all-star range.
I don't think there's that many tiers, but all right.
I mean, maybe take a couple out, but it's pretty much follows that. I don't think he's on superstar level. That's what I think. I think KD's, the LeBrons, the Stephs, the Hardens, I don't even know if I want to put Westbrook in there anymore. Honestly, I feel like Westbrook
he still puts up numbers. So
but I mean, I
because
put
it
him in
seems
there.
like you're going up by numbers. So if you're going by
respect,
numbers, then Russell Westbrook should be a superstar.
Efficiency too, though. I don't give a fuck.
Okay, now we're going by efficiency and numbers.
That all comes into play. Efficiency, but also how you affect the team, like on all levels. And Westbrook has not been. Westbrook was, but he's slipping. Even Westbrook, I know hella Westbrook fans that say I don't know what the fuck he's on now. But those are the type of players that I view as superstars. Is what I'm saying. I don't think Jimmy Butler is in that category, which is not a bad thing.
Jimmy Butler. There's only 10 people I can name, and Jimmy Butler's up there.
Who are the 10 people you can name there?
LeBron, KD, Steph Curry, James Harden.
Okay.
Who else is out there?
Giannis. Put Giannis in that.
Sure, Giannis is up there. Sure. If you want to put him up there.
Jokic,
Russell Westbrook.
Jokic.
I'll put Jokic.
You should.
I'll put Jimmy Butler. Anthony Davis.
AD.
That's 9.
You're not gonna put Kyrie in that?
And Kyrie Irving, sure. That's 10.
You're not gonna put Chris Paul in that?
I'll put Clay up there before Chris Paul.
You're not gonna put Clay in that?
Clay can be 11. Honestly, it can flip, bro. Like honestly, like there's I wouldn't even say 10. I would say like 15. I can name 15 at superstars.
I mean, you just at that point 15, bro. Like we said that. Like,
no, if you're talking about there's tiers. Like 15, that's a small chunk compared to how many 400s in the NBA? That's 15 out of 450.
I mean,
that's
I never said Jimmy Butler is a bad player. I just say I don't think he's a superstar. I think he's an all-star, perennial all-star player.
It's not perennial. He's been an all-star.
That's what I'm saying. Perennial. So it means that is perennial not like pretty much your top 5 or like the 5th? What's it called?
To me, he's a superstar, but it's fine.
I don't know, man. But yeah. So that shit went on for hell long. What do you think your favorite era of basketball was?
It's easy. It's 2000s.
The 2000s. So it's like Kobe.
Talking about the early 2000s.
Early.
Probably cut off 2011, maybe. So I'm talking about like Kobe, KG, Paul Pierce, Tracy McGrady. Who else?
I have to say my favorite era.
Antonio McDyess, Rasheed Wallace. I honestly think the early 2000s was better than now, because if you were gonna take the rules that were in place now back then, I feel like a lot of players back then will put up crazy ass numbers.
So you mean
you got to remember back then you could hand check all you want. Now you can as a defender you can't even touch the player.
I mean, I
think about what Tracy McGrady could do in this era.
Yeah, I mean, there's but you have to look at the stars.
Yao Ming would have been dominant.
The stars in any era, bro, pretty much would be superstars in any era would be dominant wherever. You have to look at the collective.
But you're asking me my era. My era was the early 2000s.
Yeah, I'll say the 2010s is my favorite era, to be honest, because I feel like they're the most skilled. They're the most athletic, skilled, aesthetically pleasing to watch. I feel like, yeah, the rules are a bit softer, but I think that if you were to put a lot of these superstars in eras back then, they would like go the fuck off. You know, I mean, obviously it would be a little. They probably would be annoyed with the amount of handshake, but like, I mean, if you have, and even it's not even just like the superstars. It's a lot of players that are like stars that are role players that I feel like would still be good as hell back in those days. Now, obviously, again, like the Kobe's, the AIs, the T-Max, the Tim Duncans, all them, they would transition well, I think, in any era just because they're that good. But if you're looking at the collective league in the 2000s, I don't know if they could all, like, a lot of them could even play in this era. I feel like a lot more players collectively in our league in the league now could play in the 2000s and like the 90s, and and I know people want to say the rules are tougher, but like okay, if they're skilled enough, I think, and strong enough and taller enough, like they didn't have 7-foot dudes like KD and Giannis and Bol and just motherfuckers that could even shoot.
What do you mean? It started from somewhere. So these players that are doing that now at 7 feet saw that from like Dirk or who else? Rasheed Wallace
but they're better than them skill wise. A lot of them.
How do you know when like Rasheed Wallace and all these other players didn't have these rules that they have in place now?
I mean,
the game has turned into an offensive like. But when you watch the NBA now, it's offensive. Like a lot of stuff gets away offensively.
That's
so
true.
Think about Rasheed Wallace now. Think about Dirk Nowitzki now.
Like, a lot of those rules people forget. It's backwards the way they look at it. A lot of those rules had to change because motherfuckers were so good. Like there's a lot of rules that changed to make it.
It was just so good, or the NBA found out okay. Offense sells, so we gotta let certain things go.
It's a little bit of both. But
come on now, like teams are putting up 120, 150 points a game. How's that fun?
I mean, I'm not saying they should play more defense, but I think players now, if players not really wanting to play defense, you telling me they couldn't lock up motherfuckers from back then?
Bro, there's a lot of players that I see out there that they do not play defense.
They
at
don't.
All.
But it don't mean that they can't. Like we see that all the time.
Well,
like,
no, I hate they don't. That doesn't mean if they could, then they would, right?
I feel like that's. I don't know if I believe that because I think the problem is that the players they don't take the regular season as they don't take it as seriously as they did back then. So you don't really see players start to really get in their bag, like defensively, offense, like really get into their bag when it's the playoffs. There's a few players like James Harden. I mean, I don't want to just say his name, but I mean it's the first name that comes to mind. That they're in their bag in the regular season, but when it gets to the playoffs, you see them slip a little bit. But you do see a lot more players that once they get to the playoffs, it's like damn, whoa, they're playing defense. I didn't even know they could even do that because like they take. The regulars, they don't really take it as seriously as they used to back. I mean, back then they used to play like 82 games. That shit was common. Now they like freaking what's it called? What was that thing that Greg Popovich started doing? Low management. That shit wasn't a thing until like a specified thing. I know players did it back then. I guess like maybe, but they wouldn't do it legit. They probably do it if they knew they were a first seed and then they had like maybe 2 or 3 games left. But that's just protecting the player because there's no need to play. But there's players now, like that's the thing now that they do it to preserve energy even when they still should be playing. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like you can say one thing here, but then you gotta say one thing there in that era. So it's not really a question, I think, of the rules because there's rules now that weren't there back then. Like they had illegal defenses and stuff like that. We don't have that shit now. So I mean,
yeah, because offensively it's pleasing. Putting up numbers is pleasing.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also a little bit because the players are hella good now.
I'm not saying there's no like the players are bad. I'm just saying like to me, not a lot of players play defense.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like the fact that players. I mean, I feel like that's what would make.
So for me, the early 2000s was my favorite era because there was defense.
Yeah.
That just showed you offensively these players were just like that good. Like, bro, Allen Iverson used to get bullied, beat down, and still put up numbers. Imagine if he was in this era. Dude would be dropping, 40 points a game? How much does James Harden drop a game? 30-something?
James Harden, that nigga just gets hella calls. Still nice, though. I'm not knocking him. But, I mean, yeah. I mean, okay, so you said the early 2000s. I said the 2010s. You got a timeout segment for today? Or...
Yeah, so my timeout segment... play the GM, start, bench, cut. So I had some time to draft up some players that we'll see.
That
So yeah, we'll start with that first one. So what you sent me earlier today, if you have to start, bench, cut, Tyler Herro, Zion Williamson, and Ja Morant, who would you start? Who would you bench? And who would you tell, sorry, but you won't be a part of my team?
Listen, man, I know this is probably not going to age well. What I'm about to say is only going off of what I've currently seen. These players are still young, so that means that there's time for all this to change. But as of right now, going off of what I've seen, I'm going to have to start Tyler Herro. I mean, I feel like he's just been showing, again, like we were talking about the whole thing with the Heat. I don't think he's a role player already. I think he's going to be a future star.
Role player does not mean bad. He's taking role players bad. we'll just get it like that.
Anyways, I think he's showing a lot of confidence. He's showing a lot of guts that a lot of players don't really have off the gate, and if they do have it, it usually takes a bit of time. He's playing like a player who's been in the league for like 4 or 5 years already. Pretty all around game. Got size to him, about 6'7". He's doing some good things for the Heat, so I'm gonna have to start him. I'm gonna have to bench Ja. I think Ja Morant to me is another. He's basically kind of like what I said for Tyler Herro. He just can't shoot as well. I think if Ja gets like better shooting, start shooting more efficiently, I think that's what'll kind of close the gap between what I think is with him and Euro. Even though I don't think it's really that big of a gap. And then I'm gonna have to cut Zion just because I still don't trust his health, man. I still don't trust, his ability to stay on the floor. I think that if he's healthy, he by far is like, I'm putting him past those two. But I just feel like I've just seen a lot, and the sample size is starting to get a little big to where, bro, like he's been hurt in college. He was hurt in the summer league. He was hurt at the beginning of the year. He only played maybe 30-ish games.
Yep, in the bubble.
And then the bubble. So, the man just can't stay healthy. So, until he shows me that otherwise, I'm going to have to, he's going to have to get cut.
All right. So, for me, it's kind of similar. I would start Ja Morant. I feel like people are forgetting about him because he's been out of the playoffs. But you got to remember, he was killing for the whole regular season. The future is still bright for him. He's a point guard in the NBA. It's a hard position to learn. He's also on an extremely young team. Right. So he has to go get it right away. Tyler Herro is surrounded by role players, good role players, and a superstar in Jimmy Butler.
I don't know if Ja does the same thing in his shoes, though. I don't know.
My bench would be, I'll start Ja, bench Tyler Herro. Basically everything that you said. Yeah. I would say the same for Herro, and then I would cut. It's crazy. Number 1 pick. I would cut Zion Williamson. Based off of what you said as well, his health. I don't know if he actually has a all-around game. Yeah, watching him in high school and college. High school he was just dunking on everyone, and in college, kind of similar. Overpowering people. But this is the NBA. Everyone in the NBA are they're grown adults. Everyone's athletic. Zion is a question mark for me at the moment. Hopefully he does. He fulfills that number 1 draft pick duties, and
the only question with him is
gets better.
Yeah.
But at this moment I would cut Zion Williamson too, and then again play the GM, start, bench, cut. So I have a list. I'm just going to go down them. And you can share with me who would you start, who would you bench, and who would you cut. So I have for big man, I have Shaq in his prime.
Oh, hell. What?
Bam. And Jokic.
What? So you said Shaq in his prime, Bam Adebayo, and Jokic.
Yep.
Okay, I'm starting Shaq. That's easy. People forget how Shaq in his prime, bro. Shaq could play a little point if he really wanted to. It's just that they didn't really have as much, freedom to really do that as centers back then. Like your coach didn't want you taking the ball off the floor if you're a center. Then I'm gonna have to bench Jokic. Jokic to me is the best center in the league right now at this moment. So it's not really that hard for me to bench him. I mean, he's not anyone else probably would start him over, but I mean that's prime Shaq. And then I'm gonna have to cut Adebayo. Adebayo is good. He's damn near gonna be the X factor in these finals. But I mean, shit, if you go up against these two, I'm gonna have to bench him.
Oh yeah,
cut him.
Mine's similar. I'll start Shaq, bench Jokic, and cut Bam. But like he said, Bam has a bright future ahead of him.
Yeah.
He's young, and I mean, shit. He had to go up against two other great players.
Yeah.
So
you never know.
For scoring guards, I try to pick these guards from different eras, not just this era. So I mean, a lot of you may not know who this guy is, but I remember watching him growing up on the Rockets. So I have Steve Francis, another killer back in the day, Agent Zero,
damn,
and Russell Westbrook. And that's my guard for this generation.
What Russell Westbrook?
He's a scoring guard.
What Russell Westbrook are we talking? Because at this point,
I'm talking about Russell Westbrook in his prime. So when he was on Oklahoma City Thunder,
he's not in his prime no more.
I think he's on the decline.
How old is he now? Like 30.
I think he's in his early 30s. But as you get up in age, you can't just always rely on your athleticism.
Yeah. Okay.
And
so
I feel like
prime when he had to throw hawk and shit. Okay.
I'm talking about triple doubles.
Yeah, so okay. Alright, if we're talking about Westbrook, then I'll say you said Steve Francis. Obviously, okay, I'll start Westbrook. I mean, listen, Westbrook, he's had an interesting career. Especially as of late, but you can't knock it. It's like the nigga is still great, he just has had some kind of turns a little bit to where you wouldn't like him to be in his career. But I mean, overall, if you're still comparing him to a lot of other players, he's still great. And then said Steve Francis. I'm gonna have to say Agent Zero because listen, people forget dude was casually dropping 30, had few 60-point games, efficient. It was him and Kobe were going at it for scoring titles and shit, at some point. So, I mean, if it weren't for that whole gun incident, we don't, who knows what would be. But I think in that short window, I'd have to say I'm going to take Agent Zero. And Steve Francis is another kind of player that, he was raw, but, I mean, his time in the NBA was a lot shorter than it should have been due to certain things. But I'm going to have to cut him.
Can't disagree with you on that. I actually would start Gilbert Arenas.
Start him, okay.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, because that's why I asked what Westbrook was talking, man.
Agent Zero back in the day.
Close. Yeah, it's close.
Was he'll get buckets. Yeah, he was shooting beyond the arc before. I mean, he was shooting from 40 before Curry and all them.
Yeah, no,
so
nice.
Man. Nice. And the confidence, bro. The confidence, bro.
Off the court shit.
Yeah, but off the court, ended his career a bit early. I think injuries too ended his career a bit early. I would bench Russell because dude was averaging a triple double, damn near 2 years back to back.
Yeah, 2 or 3.
Steve Francis, I would obviously cut, like you said. His career was cut short due to off the court issues. But man, for those of you who don't know who Steve Francis is, if you ever get the chance, YouTube that motherfucker. Yeah. Dude was fucking raw as fuck.
He was probably the most athletic guard before D Rose and Westbrook came to the picture.
Yeah, man.
He's probably the most athletic guard.
Bro, please YouTube Steve Francis.
Yeah, he was bringing and1 type NBA Street Volume 2 type shit to the NBA.
And then, okay, I'm going back to the big man again.
You got it.
So, start, bench, cut. Patrick Ewing, Alonzo Mourning, or Yao Ming.
You got the ones who didn't win. Well, no, Alonzo won one. I'm gonna have to put. I'm gonna have to start Patrick Ewing. People don't realize how good and underrated he is. He didn't win. He came very close many times. Couldn't get the job done. But he was, he did lead a lot of good New York teams in the late '90s. So I have to give him his props. I'm gonna bench Zoe, pretty close. Even though he did win way later, I think with Dwayne Wade, right? 2005, yeah. But he wasn't really. I mean, he was a pretty big player on the team, but he was way older. That he was probably on his way out. So
more of a defensive player, role player, block shots.
Yeah, defensive role player. I think he was a little more role player. I'm gonna bench him. And then I'm gonna have to cut Yao. I mean, he just played way too short. His injuries, his body couldn't take the grueling length of the NBA at that height and that weight too. So he was good, but he just didn't last long enough for me to put them over those other two. So
I would say the same. Patrick Ewing I'll start, Alonzo I'll cut, and Yao Ming I would bench. No. Alonzo I would bench.
Yeah.
Patrick Ewing I would start, and Yao Ming I would cut. Yao Ming, I mean, for me that was easy. Yao Ming,
he was.
I don't know. Watching Yao Ming play growing up, he didn't do a lot for me to be like, oh my god.
Yeah, I think it's just because he was, the whole Asian thing and him being the different.
It was just like
culture to it and everything. Like it was a lot outside.
He was an okay big man to me.
And his
like what? And yeah, his health was like an issue.
Yeah.
Patrick Ewing, like, bro, since his days at Georgetown in college, bro, he's been
on a dream team, bro.
Yeah, he was on the dream team.
Yeah, he was
almost won one with the Knicks.
Yeah, if
came
it
close.
For that fucked up call and that missed layup.
So Patrick Ewing is always up there. Alonzo Mourning, I would bench. Early in his career, he was dope. Later on in his career, like you said, when he won the championship, he was still relevant, but not as
I can't really weigh that
relevant he
was.
was
It was really
earlier in his days. And wasn't he like one of the first players to get like $100 million deal?
Yeah,
Alonzo Mourning.
Yeah, but I mean, Alonzo was dope, but at the same time, like he wasn't the leader and like the franchise player like Patrick Ewing was. Patrick Ewing was
offense and defensive game. I don't know.
I
think he was number one.
Wasn't he drafted the same class as Jordan? Like,
yeah, I think he was the number one to pick.
Yeah,
he was the number one pick.
Or something like that.
Okay, and then our last and final play the GM. I saved the best one for last. Right. To me, star bench cut. We're going power forwards. I mean, one of these players, they don't have a ring right now, but I feel like after this bubble, he will get one, and it's gonna be. I think this is a good one. Anthony Davis, Kevin Garnett, and Tim Duncan.
Damn, what the fuck? Damn, now this is one of those ones. Like I said, it can switch depending on what that player does. I'm gonna say, as of right now, this is how I'll say it. I gotta start Tim, just because Tim Duncan, nigga. That's he's like the godfather of power forwards right now, in NBA history. I think he's just 5 championships. He led those Spurs teams for like 2 decades, 20 years.
Facts.
I don't think he ever missed. He was ever in a year where he didn't make the playoffs. I don't think. Maybe his rookie year. No. I think it was either 1 year he didn't make it or he made it all the years. Something crazy.
I know he came in and won one his first year, right?
Okay, then he didn't miss the playoffs then in his whole career.
His rookie year. I'm not sure, but I believe he came in with David Robinson.
Yeah, he did.
His first year in
damn near had quadruple doubles in certain games. You know, he's had like an MVP, 2 MVPs actually. Crazy, just like that's Tim Duncan. That's I don't have to explain. And then even though he hasn't won one yet, I just think his game, his skill set. Damn. I gotta put AD over KG, man. I gotta do it because
interesting.
AD is one of those players, bro, that he has it all. I'm not saying KG didn't, but I mean, really, if you tell me, if you look at their, other than I guess like all stars and shit like that, just because he hasn't been in the league long enough. If you look at AD's resume, how different is it? Plus his skill set, how different is it?
Than Tim Duncan?
No, to KG's if AD doesn't get a ring, or if he does get a ring. Like if AD gets a ring, like and you put his resume up with KG,
KG has an NBA MVP.
Who says AD might not get that this year?
No, MVP.
Yeah, Finals MVP.
So is a Finals MVP?
You mean a league MVP?
Yeah, it's a Finals MVP.
Okay.
MVP equivalent to.
I think season MVP is better. I think personally because you have to do it for a longer amount of time. Even though people say that it's on a higher stage. Yeah, it's on a higher stage in the finals, but nigga, it's only for like 4 to 7 games. Like, I just think a regular season over the course of 82 games for you to be the best player out of I guess have the best season the way they look at it out of like 450 players, but I think that's a little more impressive to me. I think I have to put AD over. I'll bench AD. I know how good KG was. It's not recency bias. I just think I don't really think it's that crazy for me to say AD's over. I'll put him over, but I'll put him over that. And then I gotta cut KG again. These are all this is a group with Tim Duncan, AD, and KG. Like no one's getting slided here, bro. Like they're all great, but I have to cut KG.
I agree with you. Yeah. This one was a hard one.
It was hard,
and honestly, I couldn't cut any one of them.
Yeah, it's like
but
what?
Since this is a game, start Tim Duncan.
Right.
Enough said. Yeah. Mr. Fundamentals.
Right.
I don't know. Probably the best power forward I've seen play.
He's the best power forward of all time.
Yeah, and then he's not selfish.
Yeah.
He knows his. This dude doesn't like when I say role player. He knows what he's good at. Which is go to the block, shoot the mid range. He gets boards.
Tim Duncan's not a role player.
He's not. No, Tim Duncan's a Hall of Famer.
Right.
Definitely, I'll start him. Bench KG, favorite player growing up.
Okay.
AD. He's on his way to becoming a Hall of Famer.
Right.
I would put him up there, but it's KG. KG holds a place in my heart. Fucking dominant when he was on the Wolves. NBA Finals champion, NBA Finals MVP.
Yeah.
And NBA MVP.
I feel like if we're going off of right now, this moment, I would cut AD. But of what I think AD is going to do in his career and how young he is and how much he's already done, I gotta.
No. I can't disagree with you on that.
I'm going more.
I'll definitely. Ask me tomorrow. It could be fucking Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan is always gonna start. Tomorrow it could be Tim Duncan starting, AD benching, and KG cut. But like I said, all three of them are really, really, really great players.
Yep.
But that's it for our timeout segment. Play the GM, start, bench, cut.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna go into our next and final segment. And like we always do at the end of the pod, we like to give a shout out to someone that's been doing great things, maybe on the court or off the court.
Player of the game.
So our player of the pod for episode 12 for the Black Stars podcast. I can't speak anything bad about him. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna name like his statistics and what he's done in the league, and then Kofi's just gonna guess who the player of the pod will be for episode 12. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard. I mean,
I ain't been wrong yet. Man.
this man's resume it just speaks volumes. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just start off by saying this man has made it to the NBA Finals 10 times. He was the number one draft pick in the NBA. He's taken 3 different teams to the NBA Finals. He's a 3-time NBA Finals MVP, 3-time NBA champion, 4-time NBA Most Valuable Player, 16-time NBA All-Star, 3-time NBA All-Star Game MVP, 13-time All-NBA First Team, 2-time All-NBA Second Team, 5-time NBA All-Defensive First Team, NBA Rookie of the Year, NBA All-Rookie First Team, NBA Scoring Champion, NBA Assist Leader for this year, 2020, NBA Assist Leader, 3-time AP Athlete of the Year, 2-time Mr. Basketball USA, McDonald's All-American, 2-time Gatorade Player of the Year, and I mean, he's also doing big things off the court with like the whole registering to vote. He has his own like fucking uninterrupted show on YouTube. I mean, he's always there to speak about social injustices that are going on in the Black and brown community. So, who do you think the player of the pod is?
Mo Williams. I mean, LeBron James.
I mean, shit. I feel like it's always good to give the roses to the people that are here. And yep, I mean, it's LeBron James. I mean, came into the NBA with high expectations, fulfilled all those expectations. He's an NBA Finals champion. I mean, what more can you say? This man is breaking records. Like,
at this point, it's like, at this point, man, every time he gets in the game, it's like he's breaking some kind of record. He's damn near gonna be. He's already top 10 in assists. He's already top 10 in scoring. Could possibly be top 10 in I think steals, right? I think.
Yeah.
And he's already like the leader in I think points for play in the playoffs, right?
Points for the. I mean,
yeah.
This dude holds so many records.
Yeah, he has like hundreds of records, bro. Like LeBron is. You can't say anything bad about it. By far, I think he's been the best player in the league since like 2012.
I would agree. I
think, and that's damn near almost been. That's pretty much a decade. So pretty much the best player for the last decade.
I mean, what I would say is I enjoyed watching LeBron's career from the start to now, because just how he just was able to figure out and how to just dominate.
I was thinking the other day, bro. I have kids and they're not even gonna know
who LeBron James
is, or like.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day.
You gotta remember 10. You said how long has he been in the league?
He's been in the league for 17 years, bro.
And out of those 17, he's made it to the NBA Finals 10 times.
So that's over 50%.
I mean, what more?
That's actually.
I mean, to me, I think the only thing else is he's probably just gonna just weigh it out and just wait for his son to get to the NBA.
At this point,
probably do some like historical thing there, like first son and father. And I mean, I'm sure there's been like son fathers in the NBA, but like just seeing that now.
Has there?
Shit,
I mean, been sons. There's been sons that have had fathers.
Yeah, like Ken Griffey Jr. and his dad.
But that's baseball. I mean,
that's the only one I can remember.
Yeah, there's been a lot of players that were in the NBA and they had sons later on that came in when they were retired. But at the same time, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I mean, shit. If it happens, that would be crazy. Especially if his son comes in the league and is like also a number 1 pick.
Yeah, bro,
that would be super crazy.
Bron is a story that is rare. Like, you never see people with that kind of hype actually not only live up to it.
This man has the chosen one tatted on him. That speaks volumes because he is the chosen one. Yeah. And so that's a wrap.
That's 12th episode of the Black Star Sports Podcast in the books.
Man. Like I said before, we're going to get everything streaming on all DSPs. trying to figure out how to get this on iTunes. Trying to figure out how to get this on Spotify. Once I get the shit edited, you're gonna get these on all those audio streaming services. But check us out on YouTube and subscribe, leave a comment, and man, that's all I can say.